With its distinctive swimming pools in the upper deck, there's a look inside Everbank Stadium here in Duval County, Florida.
Here's the kicker, Harrison Butker, ready to get this one started. And off we go from Jacksonville. Now a crease here as he's past the 30.
Now that should give him a spark. He's across the 40 to the 43. Play action. It's Lawrence. He'll get this into the hands of the wideout from LSU.
Just like that, a pickup of 20 on their first play from scrimmage.
What a start here to the ball game. You get the good kick return, followed by a quick first down through the air. If this defense isn't careful, they might be looking at a deficit before they know what hit them.
Looking to throw, Lawrence. The throw right side, going to be complete to DeGuara.
Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and it'll be second down.
Nice rhythm throw there on first down. He located his tight end, made a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage.
From the 31, here's 2nd and 4. Here's Lawrence to throw. Screen play. Here's Etienne.
A good job defensively to hold that to 4 yards, and now it's 3rd down.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
They'll run with Etienne, and he will have a Jaguars first down, maybe by about a yard as they find a way to convert on 3rd and inches.
If you make the stop there, maybe you hold them to 3 on this opening drive. They didn't get the stop.
Yeah, new set of downs now. Now you're worried about, just as you pointed out, not just giving up 3, possibly giving up 6. Let's see what they decide to do here because they've got to change up what they have been doing. It hasn't been working.
Lawrence. A short throw there to Strange.
They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6.
But yet another completion here on this opening drive, and he's now perfect 4 of 4 to start. Pretty solid execution here.
And how about how everyone's handled their nerves? Because you know what it's like to start a ball game. You're so amped up and ready to go that sometimes the execution isn't there. They've been flawless so far. Well drilled, well prepared, and excited to start this game.
And he's only going to get a yard from the 20 to the 19.
Well, they've certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
And he will get this into the end zone for a Jaguar touchdown.
Trevor Lawrence
scampering home from 19 yards out.
And the Jaguars will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon.
And they do exactly what they wanted to. Opening drive, they get into the end zone. They do it on the ground.
And not only is the person lugging the ball happy, of course, because he got it into the end zone. How about the offensive linemen and receivers who are blocking for him? They have to feel great about themselves, sticking it in the end zone on a running play.
Here's the Jaguar kick team now as they run up and send this one away. Oh, a dangerous return man showing it here.
And he's all the way up across the 40 and down at the 42. Great return.
And out come the Chiefs now. The Chiefs in good position to start out as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 42. Now here's Mahomes.
Well, this one complete. It's Rashee Rice.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup.
Defense gives up a touchdown on the opening drive. Offense, you got to want to get out there and get those points back right now.
And that's a sharp throw there to get this drive off to a good start. Mahomes now to throw.
That's caught. It's Xavier Worthy.
And he's got this down to the 35. That one good for 12 yards and a Kansas City first.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down, executed it to perfection. To throw, it's Mahomes.
Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
And not a common sight, at least on this drive. A momentary setback, though, for this passing game that has been moving well this series. Good thing for them, though. Still 2 more downs to connect and try and pick up another first down.
2nd and 10.
Mahomes to throw once more. Buying time to his left. And Mahomes picking up the first as he slides and hits the deck. Nice play for Kansas City, picking up the first, 18 yards that time.
This early in the game, it's all about making steady progress downfield, hoping to lead to early points. And you can do it with your actual play calls or sometimes something a little more improvised, as we just saw there.
In motion, the tight end, Kelsey. Looking to throw is Mahomes. And that is caught for the touchdown, Kansas City.
Xavier Worthy.
An 18-yard touchdown grab.
And the Chiefs are able to match the opening drive touchdown against them with one of their own.
Partner, remember that old film of Peyton Manning going through the route tree with his great receivers in Indianapolis? I think we're seeing the results of the same type of work here today. These guys know each other so well that they don't even have to call the play. They can just look each other and know the route that's going to be run, and usually the connection is perfect.
Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away.
And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line.
So time to see Jacksonville again on offense for the second time here in this game. And that last touchdown drive they had very balanced. How key is that balance?
It's huge because most of the time when we talk about balance is run, pass, almost 50-50. But most of the times when you talk to offensive coaches, they say balance is we do what we want when we want to. And that means that they're ahead of the defense, keeping them on their heels.
Yeah, they imposed their will on that last drive. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's 2nd down.
And that's an early scramble that can be viewed positively by either side. From the offensive point of view, it begins to establish him as a possibility to keep it on certain plays. And defensively, they avoided giving up a huge play in one of their first tests in containing a quarterback on the run.
Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against? They'll step off the 5 yards.
Yeah, partner, you know, defensive end, he wants to get into the offensive backfield. He wants that get off to be as fast as possible. A little too quick on that one.
So after the penalty, now they need just a yard on 2nd down.
Here's Lawrence. Got his man. It's the tight end Strange with it.
Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
I know this may be jumping the gun a little bit, but 7-7, they're flinging it around like crazy. Look at the drive that's going on here. Partner, we may have to start thinking about one of these defenses just holding someone to a field goal and maybe trying to get an advantage that way.
On 1st and 10, it's ETN.
And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, 2nd down.
When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
This will be caught by Brown. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
Now Lawrence to throw. That is caught. And he is going to have a Jags first down as he'll be marked down a yard or 2 past the marker following a gain of 6.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first.
Now Lawrence.
And incomplete, he dropped it. Maybe a rookie mistake there, 2nd down.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
Now a 2nd and 10. From the shotgun, Lawrence. And this one is going to be off the mark, too far out in front.
Just a little beyond the reach there of his receiver. That's probably one he wishes he had back.
He wishes it had been 7-on-7 in practice, or maybe even routes versus air, because that's a completion he makes, 9.9 times out of 10? Just missed that one.
Now Lawrence. That's to the sideline and incomplete.
Yeah, it's still early in the game. No sense taking a chance on 3rd down and forcing one into traffic. So I like the wise play he made there. Get it to the sideline out of bounds where no one's going to have a chance at it.
So on 4th down, here's Logan Cook to punt for Jacksonville. And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. Kansas City taking the field for their 2nd drive.
This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other. Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. Now Mahomes. Catch is made by Marquise Brown. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
The heavy set out there. 3 tight ends in the formation for 3rd and 3. First carry now for Kareem Hunt. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave him with a 4th down.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
A 45-yard punt, 4 there on the return. And the Jaguars go on offense, 1st down and 10. Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here.
Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time, hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone. They go play action with Lawrence.
He's going deep for Brown. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
Zone coverage there, and they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. And that time, there was not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
Here's 2nd and 10. Lawrence, now this is ETN on the draw.
Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage.
Officially nothing on that one, no gain, so they're left with still 10 to go on 3rd down. No luck whatsoever there on the draw.
Yeah, they're supposed to use their aggressiveness against them. That was the hope. But maybe they had too big of a meal last night. A half step slow, and he ends up running right into the meat of the defense.
Lawrence will throw.
Complete to Washington.
And he will have a Jaguars 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And it's a real luxury when you have a guy who can turn a short throw into a solid gain at any moment. Once he caught that ball, he ID'd where the open grass was and got there in a hurry to pick up a new set of downs for his offense.
They'll look to throw here on 1st down. And incomplete, a drop there in the middle 3rd of the field. That'll bring up 2nd down.
On any passes in the middle of the field, anyone who's going after the football is going to be conscious that it's probably going to be contested and often physically. Sometimes that leads to drops.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Operating from the gun, Lawrence.
That's caught. It's Strange, the tight end.
And he'll be brought down with a 1st down as the tackle's made at the Chiefs' 44-yard line. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, and then anything after that, we count that as a bonus. And indeed, he gets enough for the 1st down.
Now they show jet sweep, but instead a run up the middle here.
And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the 1st half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10. A short throw there to Strange. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
That's a good-looking play to me. The big tight end on a crossing route coming underneath. Sometimes he can gain some serious momentum going forward, can't he?
Yeah, he can indeed, and pretty well executed there.
These two teams all tied after 1. Second quarter now from Jacksonville, and it's the Jags with the football.
This will be play number 8 here on the drive. It's 3rd and a yard.
Here's a give to Bigsby.
And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the 1st.
That's quite a spot there for his first carry of the game, but obviously they had plenty of faith in him, didn't they?
No question about it. And here, why not go with the fresh legs? Able to push forward, pick up that 1st. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
They go play action now. Lawrence.
Got a man. It's Brown. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. That'll give him 8 that time. And that'll bring up a 2nd down in just a couple. Looking to throw. Lawrence.
He'll get this out to the flat for ETN.
And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line.
That one a 1st down pickup of 8.
One of my old teammates called me the other day when he was watching the game. He's like, man, trying to watch an NFL game and trying to account for their passing game, that's difficult. And just when you think you get everything covered, here comes a back out of the backfield. And in this case, he picks up a 1st down.
Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Washington. And he takes it inside the 10 to the 8 before he's out of bounds.
And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be left with a second and about a foot. ETN up the middle. Nice move at the 5. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. A 5-yard gain there makes it 1st and goal.
They were not fooling around at all, were they? 2nd and short, and they brought out the heavy package. Almost felt like the super heavy package against that defense, didn't it?
Yeah, I don't think they expected that much beef up front, and it turned into an easy 1st down conversion. Now Thomas will come in motion right. Touchdown, Jaguars! Brian Thomas from 3 yards out, and the Jaguars have taken the lead. Had the option there, read it perfectly, and an easy little touchdown toss.
And it has to be a sharp throw, too, because of where they are on the field. The extra traffic, things are condensed near the goal line. Good route by the receiver as well.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that makes the score 14-7. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. And now here comes Kansas City. After that last score we just saw, now 14-7, so a chance to march down the field here, try to tie this football game. Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10, right at the 30. They'll try and start this drive in the air. That's complete, left side to Worthy. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of 1st downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
Pacheco gets it up the gut. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down.
Well, you know they had a 3rd down play on standby just in case, but he says no need with that carry. Runs like that will continually earn him more work in this and future contests.
Throwing now is Mahomes. That one caught by Rice.
Nothing fancy on 1st down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for 2nd down, staying ahead of schedule. They fake the give. Now Mahomes. He'll drop this off to Pacheco, and he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. 7 yards there and a 1st down.
Well, that was a pretty favorable situation there. What would you call that? 2nd and manageable? Smart play, too. Didn't force it downfield when he didn't have it. Just checked it down, let him get the 1st down, and that's exactly what he did.
On 1st and 10, here's Pacheco. He takes this for about 6 down inside the 40.
They've created a nice sustained drive off of plays like that. A nice strong run there that keeps them advancing the ball.
Ball on the 39. Here's the 2nd down and 4. Mahomes going to throw. That's into the hands of Worthy. And he gets this down inside the 35 before going out of bounds. Catch number 4 for him on the afternoon, and it'll give him a 1st down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target, and he's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Snap will come from the 31 on 2nd and 7. They'll bring a tight end in motion left. Snap coming at 1, and it's Mahomes. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. Well, a nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down.
My first thought is surprise, because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
Now here's Mahomes. They'll set up the screen to Pacheco. And he will have a Chiefs first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon, and it looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. And that time they pick up a first down. So now on defense, do you assign a man to him and try and cover him before he gets going?
To throw, it's Mahomes. He rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. And the Jaguars are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. They give it off here to the tight end. And he will forge his way forward only up to the 2-yard line. And Nick Bolton there on the tackle.
Well, he got what he could there, just trying to move forward and gain a little bit of yardage and create some space. You know the pressure is going to be tough defensively.
Here's a 2nd and 8. Straight ahead, Etienne. And he's able to get him a small cushion before being taken down at the 5, a gain of 3.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense, and guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
Here's Lawrence to throw. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
That could be the stop this defense needed to get them back on track. They've been pretty well dissected by the offense here in the first half. After that possession, now they know that they can compete with this offense.
Here's Logan Cook now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And he's able to get it out of there. Taking on the midfield logo. A 40-yard punt, 5 yards on the return. And the Chiefs will have excellent field position here as they take over. KC's offense ready to take over. Not an ideal way to end their previous drive. They threw the interception, Charles, after they had built up some momentum. They were moving the football, but something to at least build on for this offense as they run back out here.
Yeah, you're right about that. Up until that last play, everything was working pretty well for this offense, gaining chunks of yardage, getting first downs, really making a push for the end zone, and looked like they had a nice rhythm going. Now you got to have a short memory here. Don't focus on the interception. Focus on what came before it and get back to it.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
Looking to throw is Mahomes. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down.
And that's one of those plays where it's hard to keep 2 eyes on the football when you know the contact's coming, let alone getting 2 hands around it, hugging it to your body, and absorbing the hit, even for those big tight ends who you would think could absorb that contact.
Here's Mahomes to throw. He'll get this complete to Worthy. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
What I love about watching the passing game nowadays is that the one-dimensional receiver is really starting to leave the game. You've got to be able to do it all. Of course, you got to run fast. Of course, you got to catch the ball. But route running savvy and toughness, there's a premium for all of that now.
Now it's Mahomes again. And that's going to be knocked away in the end zone. It's incomplete.
Like what I see so far out of this defense because they've been showing their best coverages on third down. So far, only allowed one conversion on a handful of attempts. One area of their game plan that they've executed to perfection.
Butker's kick here is good. And they'll cut the lead back down to 4 now at 14-10. So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number one. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
After the field goal, here's Butker to kick it away. And they will wrangle it down a couple yards shy of the 30. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. As we eke closer and closer to intermission, Charles, remember last time out they punted. They would love to get points here, especially if this is going to be their final possession of the first half.
Yeah, and this is what close games feel like because the pressure is on both sides, but sometimes the pressure is a little bit higher on the team with the slight edge because they're trying to hold on to that, trying to increase it. Let's see how this one continues.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
On second down, ETN once more.
And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. A yard in the wrong direction makes third down tougher. Third down and 9.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
On third down, here's ETN.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That one good for a gain of 13 for Jacksonville and a first down.
Brandon, they're still in the lead, but momentum's certainly been going the opposite direction. So to me, that's a really important pickup there on third down.
Try and regain some confidence, and you're right. They need to stem the tide a little bit. That certainly helped.
Here's Lawrence. This ball caught by Strange.
He's got this to the 30 before being taken down. 28 yards the gain there on the catch and run.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing, but as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Got his man complete over the middle. It's Thomas. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards, and that's going to bring up second down.
Lawrence. They'll try and set up the screen to ETN.
Only a yard there. Sniffed out well defensively, and it brings up third. The Jaguars going to go ahead and use their first timeout as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. Trying to keep the drive going here. This is play number 7 on 3rd and 2.
Again, it's Lawrence. He's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have a Jags first down, and he's going to have it by plenty. Able to get 8 yards there on 3rd and 2.
And that one was a lot of fun right there because that was the game within the game. 3rd and short, blitz was on. What's the key for the quarterback? Get out of your hands in a hurry. And that was a quick little completion. Got the job done for a first down.
Looking to throw, Lawrence.
And he's got it. It's Thomas for a Jacksonville touchdown.
Brian Thomas.
In the final seconds of the first half.
And the Jaguars would extend their lead here just before halftime.
That's one of the better examples of clock management I've seen. Whittled it all the way down just about and still put the ball in the end zone.
Yeah, just a methodical drive and something really to take into the lockers here. Extra point right down the middle, and that makes it a 21-10 game.
So 6 seconds, all that remains of this first half as the kick is away.
And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25.
The Chiefs going to go back on offense one final time in this first half. And with Mahomes under center, anything's possible. Watch out for the deep ball.
Likely time for one final snap as they start out 1st and 10. Mahomes now to throw. He's going to float this one deep right side. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's 2nd down.
Trying to get something positive to happen here before the break, and they sure need it. They went for the big one, but it winds up incomplete.
Final shot before the half from Mahomes.
And that's to the left sideline and incomplete.
Time for a break. We've hit halftime. 2 quarters down. 2 still remain. We step aside. This is the NFL on EA Sports.
It'll be the Chiefs football to begin quarter number 3, and they trail here as we are back underway now on EA Sports. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29.
Here comes the Chiefs offensive unit as they'll have it to begin quarter number 3.
Well, the first half, they struggled a little bit to keep pace offensively, CD, down 2 scores here. So how do they make some changes coming out of the locker room?
Well, they've studied what they did in the first half. They've seen what the defense has thrown at them. Now they want to have a plan of attack against it. So you come out, you're not going to get all the points back on one drive, but get started on it. Start chopping into that lead, and maybe it'll inspire your defense to help out as well.
Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10.
Headed straight, it's Pacheco. And he'll earn a couple of tough yards past the 30 to the 31.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Now Mahomes. He's going deep for Brown. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
I'm sure this isn't a novel thought, but maybe run some simpler routes instead of trying to get it all back in one shot. Defense certainly appears to be ready for him. Try and get it back little by little instead of in big chunks.
Here's the Chiefs punter now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. 46 on his first kick, this one in that neighborhood as well. And a fair catch signaled for and taken just outside the 20-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt.
And they will take over 1st and 10. They'll start on the ground. ETN. And he maneuvers up the middle for 3. And it's 2nd down.
In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin too.
From the 25, here's a 2nd and 7. Now Lawrence. To the right side and complete to Thomas. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran it a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
Now Lawrence to throw. 8 yards that time, able to take off, and the result is a first down.
Remember, Brandon, he ran for a touchdown earlier, so his decision to go ahead and tuck it and go again turned out to be a wise one.
And the decision is what is important here. He has made some good decisions on when to tuck it and go. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. A shotgun snap and a give to ETN. He'll work his way up the middle for a gain of about 4, 2nd down.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
From the 39-yard line, here comes 2nd down at 6. And they'll go again with ETN. And able to get a couple as he's across the 40 to the 41. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
3rd and 4. Now Lawrence. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he will have a Jaguars first down as he's able to get 8 yards there on 3rd and 5.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the first down. And that's what he just did.
And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
They suspected that it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on 1st down.
From a couple of yards beyond midfield, here's 2nd and 8. Lawrence will throw. They'll find a man over the middle. It's Washington. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. Running out of the gun with ETN. And he fights forward for a modest 2-yard gain, 2nd down.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
From the 38 now, here's a 2nd and 8. They'll bring a receiver in motion right. From the 38, Lawrence. His throw incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. They'll need to get it to the 30 for a first. This is 3rd down. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Dancing to his left. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Michael Dana with a big-time sack on 3rd down. It's a loss of 7. I thought there at the end he may have had a chance to release that, but that pocket closed a little too quickly, and down he went.
Yeah, he was certainly trying to do everything he could to extend the life of the play, probably counting in his head 1, 2, and then he ran out of time.
The Cook now on to punt as he gets this one away. Out of bounds as he appeared to be looking for the corner. He got it. They're going to mark this at the 4-yard line. And Kansas City's offense now set and ready to go. And this has not been their best half so far. They're down double digits already and now forced to operate from inside their own 5.
And what they have to do now is not curse their fate as much as focus on the task at hand. Inside their own 5-yard line, they've got to be careful of taking care of the football and not turning it over for the defense to score additional points.
And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
And that run there does nothing but juice up the guys who are moving the football. I mean, if you're an offensive lineman, people running it, actually the guy calling plays, you're almost jumping up and down in jubilation, aren't you?
And now you've got options on second down.
And big-time options. You might want to think about play action and try and get something cheap right here over the top.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He winds up giving a yard back there, and now it's 3rd and 2.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Throwing now is Mahomes. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he will have a Chiefs first down. It's a gain of 6 that time on 3rd and 2.
They brought in a heavy set on 3rd down, and that usually means running play. But we have seen them throw out of that formation. And sure enough, they snuck the tight end out on that one. Wound up hitting him for a first down.
Mahomes going to throw. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
It's been clear in this matchup which side has been the more physical one. It's been this defense. And here's another example on that last play.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. On the handoff, it's Pacheco. He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
They'll see about converting this 3rd and 8. They'll set up a throw. That is caught. And he will have a Chiefs first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to, pick up a first down.
Now here's Mahomes. And the timing a bit off that time as that one falls to the ground.
Offense was moving it a little bit, had them back on their heels, but they earn a brief pause by forcing the incompletion. That gives them a quick chance to regroup and try and mount a stand before they're backed up even further.
A 2nd and 10 forthcoming here. 3rd quarter action from Jacksonville. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the first down. 23 yards on the tuck and run.
This is where the NFL is headed year by year, partner. A league where just about everyone has someone under center who can get you with their legs as well as their arm. And we've certainly had a nice display of that from both QBs in this game. And that continued with that first down run.
To throw, it's Mahomes. Throw left side complete. That's Rice. So the completion good for 7 there. And that will bring up 2nd down. They run it with Pacheco from the gun. Looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. In trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
Evades the tackler, and now some space. And he will have a Chiefs first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Despite the score, despite the deficit, no quitting this guy. He's running angry, running through arm tackles. He wants to change what that scoreboard is saying.
Back to throw now on first down. A quick throw there is incomplete.
Well, a momentary speed bump there with that throw, partner. The defense had other ideas, and they're trying to mount a small stand before this drive reaches the end zone.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. In motion, the tight end, Kelsey. Looking to throw is Mahomes. Over the middle, that's caught by Rice. They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6. Here is 3rd and 5. Snap coming at 1, and it's Mahomes. And Brown's got it for a Chiefs touchdown. A 20-yard touchdown. And the Chiefs go coast to coast and finish the drive off with 6 points. Well executed there offensively. Defense looked a little confused, but he found his receiver, and that one good for 6 points.
And the payoff we just saw there tells us how many times they ran this play in practice over the past few weeks, because they executed that flawlessly right here on game day when the situation arose.
And he's got it. So the try for 2 successful. And with it, they're back within a field goal. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. Out comes the Jaguar offense now as they get set to take over. Pretty important third quarter drive for them. Momentum has sort of shifted the other direction after that last touchdown as they nurse this small lead. Lawrence bringing the Jaguars up 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. And the slot man goes in motion left. They'll look to ETN to start things out. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. We have played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Jacksonville. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the 4th quarter. Here's Lawrence to throw. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Thomas. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 22 yards on the catch and run, a 1st down. And he's certainly been a huge factor in this when he's got the 2 touchdowns to his credit. Now they look to him again. He picks up the 1st.
Yeah, I can hear everyone saying, well, why don't you cover him, double him, triple him, do what you have to do. But sometimes they get locked into such a groove and such a connection, it doesn't matter how many guys are in his area.
He certainly looks to be in that groove right now. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one, picking up the 1st, getting 14 yards on the scramble.
It's getting cold in here, partner, because it looks like he's trying to ice this one away. Yeah, I know, bad dad joke, but what the heck, right? Scrambling for that 1st after the D blanketed his receivers, that's a backbreaker for the defense. They finish this drive off with 6, and this one could be over.
On 1st and 10, it's ETN. Down to about the 32. I'm sure that that's going to be the formula. Just keep the ball on the ground. Keep that clock moving.
And when you have the lead this late in the game, above all, stay in bounds. Yes, take care of the football. Yes, gain yardage, but stay in bounds and let that clock tick.
Now 2nd and 8 at the 32-yard line. Here's Lawrence. A short throw there to Strange. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion. And now it's 3rd and 3.
And there wasn't much room for the big tight end to do much after the catch. But at least he was able to pick up a solid gain to help his offense continue to move in the right direction.
Here's 3rd and 3. They'll run with ETN. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. And this third down looking very tough after the holding penalty. 3rd and long. From the gun, it's Lawrence. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. He did his best to just get 4 out of that, but not enough. And now 4th down. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
And this will split the uprights. It's right down the middle. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. So they get the 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they'd feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. Now this Chiefs offense gets set to go again. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around. That'll be caught by Rice. And that's good for a gain of 6, and that'll bring up 2nd down. Was that a design pass, or what was that?
It was built into the play call. He had the opportunity to either hand it inside, keep it himself to run it, or do what he just did. Throw that pass inside, hitting a receiver on the run.
In motion, the tight end, Kelsey. Oh, the motion comes too late, and this is going to be a delay. Well, just a little too lackadaisical, Charles, and they didn't get up and snap the ball in time. Delay of game.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if he understood where the clock was located. In different stadiums, it's in different places. You have to check that in pregame and make sure you're aware so you don't run into penalties like these.
Following the delay, here's 2nd and 9. Here's Mahomes to throw. Got a man over the middle, Worthy. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. They call his number again. It's his 6th catch and a 1st down.
And here we are in the 4th quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there, not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
They'll run out of the gun with Pacheco. Nowhere to go that time. He maybe got a yard up to the 40.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
Ball on the 40 now. Here's a 2nd and 9. They go play fake. Mahomes. He'll check this one down to Pacheco. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. It's a loss of a yard, so it's back to 3rd and 10. Well, it looked like the defense, they were ready for that one.
Really left him almost no room to work after catching the ball. He could throw every move in the book at him. They were there, and they tackle him for a loss.
From the gun on 3rd down, Mahomes. And that will be incomplete. He shook his head right when he released that throw. He knew it was going to be a little off target.
Yeah, the excitement got him on that one. Wasn't able to control the fact the receiver was open, and it would have been an easy throw.
Here's the Chiefs punter now, as he's on here to punt it away. It's a 44-yard punt, just 3 on the return.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here.
Their defense got the stop, forced the punt, and now you really start to monitor the clock as they nurse this slim lead. Lawrence bringing the Jaguars up, 1st and 10.
At their own 18.
Now ETN to start the drive.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage.
Credit the stop there to Leo Chanel getting into the backfield and stopping him in his tracks.
Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
It's a gain of maybe 3, but it's going to leave them with still about 8 or 9 to go on 3rd down.
And this is the worry, because sometimes you can get a little too predictable in spots like this. You know you're going to run the ball, but they know you're going to run the ball as well. And now you look up and you're staring at an important 3rd down.
A throw out wide, going to be incomplete.
Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a 1st down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And taken right at the 35. It's a 45-yard punt, but a decent return there of 9 yards. And it's Chiefs football, 1st and 10.
Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. Their defense accomplished step 1 of the mission. They forced the punt. Now they'll look to erase that deficit and take a 4th quarter lead.
So good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 44. Over the middle, complete. It's Rice. So give them 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and it'll be 2nd down.
I got the sense that the defense created a little momentum for them there, didn't they?
Did their job, forced the punt. Now, nice start to the drive. Offense has to do their part.
Yeah, they certainly do, but what a great start for them. They got to go thank the guys on D.
Mahomes now to throw.
And that is dropped. Oh, my goodness. That could have been a game changer, but he could not hang on.
Oh, man, late in a tight ball game, every play so critical, you feel like you've got to find a way to come up with that football. That was put in a great spot, but it just didn't want to stick in his hands. That's a big letdown.
Now Mahomes. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That one good for 24 yards.
Well, a lot of times when you get a manageable 3rd down situation like this, you have to think about your tight end, and he comes through for him, picking up the 1st down.
So in Jacksonville territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 27. They'll look to throw again. And down inside the 15 he goes. Nice plays, 12 yards that time and a 1st down.
Another nice play there. They've gotten down into the red zone in no time at all. That's what this offense can do when they get on a roll, and now they're set up with a 1st and 10.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line.
Again, he'll drop to throw. That is caught by Rice for a Kansas City touchdown. A 14-yard touchdown.
And the Chiefs are an extra point away from taking the lead here in the 4th. Well, on that connection, it looked like they maybe had some pre-play communication. Maybe one of them noticed an area that was open in the defense to get the pass to.
When you put the time in, sometimes you have that great silent communication that you just noticed right there, because the best quarterback-receiver combos in the NFL, they know how to make those adjustments at the line of scrimmage when they see something pre-play, and they got it done there.
Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. Here comes the Jaguars offense as they get set here. And they will be looking to answer the touchdown their defense just surrendered. Still a good chunk of time remaining here in the fourth quarter and a chance to regain the lead in a tight one. Lawrence bringing the Jaguars up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll start this drive out on the ground. That's to about the 28. Second down coming up.
Sometimes you're aligned perfectly and the play comes to you, and sometimes you got to cover some ground to go make the play, as we just saw there.
We saw a great example of perseverance right there on that play.
Got to be careful. They might want to throw one over his head as this game progresses.
Second down, 8 to go from the 28. Now Lawrence to throw. A short throw there to Strange. It'll be a gain of 5. And now we've got a 3rd down and 3.
Hey, let's face it, you can put any Halloween costume on him. You're not going to be able to disguise him, because for a tight end of his size, difficult to sneak him anywhere, but that's what they tried to do. Lined up on his right, tried to work his way back to his left, but just a minimal gain as the defense was able to react quickly.
Here's a give to Etienne. And he will be very close to a 1st down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game, and while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
Here's Logan Cook now, as he's on for the 5th time here today. This will be fielded at the 17. A punt of 46, a return of 5. And out will come the offense as they take over. Here's the Kansas City offense now as they get set to take over. They have played so strongly. You look at the scoreboard, you probably, with the way they played, you would think the margin would be a lot bigger, right?
You would. And in your experience, how many times have we run into coaches where they've talked about, hey, we just want to put it in the hands of our defense and have them win the game? In this case,
yeah, not the case.
Not at all. You want to put it in the hands of your offense, but you always feel better about saying defense because you think defense is a constant and offense kind of comes and goes. Today, this game, no, they need their offense to stay on a really hot level.
They've been hot so far. Here's 2nd and 7. In motion left here, one of their tight ends. So they accept the penalty, of course, and push the offense backwards a bit. They'll bring one of the tight ends in motion left. Back to throw. He's going deep for Brown. It's caught inside the 25. And he's going to be out of bounds inside. And I believe the referee's been buzzed. Yeah, they want to take another look at this call, and it's certainly a big one here late in a tight game. Five points of contact necessary at this stage as they'll run on 1st down. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ball game. So 2nd and 9, and you'd have to figure just about all 11 probably crashing the line here. A handoff now for Pacheco. Now the Jags will use the 2nd of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. Here's 3rd and 6. Mahomes to throw. He's got his target. That's complete.
The Jaguars now will use the last of their timeouts, and they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. And they will take a knee here. It's 2nd and goal, back to the 8-yard line now.
Pacheco gets it up the gut.
And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down.
Oh, Brandon, I'm going to tell you, this is football time to me. They're inside the 10-yard line. That's like drawing the line in the sand. Who's going to make the stand here? Defensive guys, they know if he gets in the end zone, this ball game is over. And the guys with the football right now, they're thinking, let's just pound it in there.
Got to hold him to 3 to keep this a one-score game. Mahomes down to a knee, and that should just about write a finish to this one.
And how about this finish? Able to take a knee, run out the clock, and close this game out by 1 point. You talk about how many coaches we talked to? They all said the same. All I want to do is win by 1 point. That got tested in this one.
Yep, and that cliche rings true. A single penny separates this one. And his kick is good. And the drive will wind up yielding 3.
But Charles, we were treated to an excellent game today, capped off by that second-half comeback. This was a joy to watch.
Entertaining for us. Not so much to the team who led at halftime and now is leaving here, knowing that they let a win slip through their fingers. Tough one for them to carry home.
So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. With that, we sign off from Jacksonville.